Welcome back, Silver and Blue Nation. It's your boy, Jeff Freeman. Welcome to Mic'd Up with Jeff. Oh, man, today we got some breaking news with the Miami Dolphins. Could be some good news. Bradley Chubb was released from the Miami Dolphins. And if you think about last year, when the Cowboys were out looking for an edge rusher before they got Jadeveon Clowney, they was in the mix of grabbing Bradley Chubb. However, the deadline came and, no transaction was made and Chubb stayed with the Dolphins, which was probably a good thing because the Cowboys never gave up any draft capital. But now opportunity presents itself, and here's Bradley Chubb again, released by the Miami Dolphins. Go get Bradley Chubb. I'm on board with getting Bradley Chubb. He's an 8.5 sack guy, veteran, good locker room guy, and he's 29 years old. And this guy, he can definitely ball out. He came off an ACL injury a couple of years back, but he's giving you 8.5 sacks. I think last year he had about 11 sacks last year. But this is what you need. This is what you need. It's also be a cap-friendly move, Cowboy Nation. You get a cap-friendly guy. Instead of giving up draft capital for Max Crosby. Not saying that Max Crosby is not a baller. Of course, everybody knows he's a baller, and Trey Henderson, they ball out. Both of them ball out, but this is more team-friendly, cap-friendly. And so I'm all on board with it. And, you got some people out there that hate him. Well, he's not Micah Parsons. He's not a 15-sack guy. Man, you don't need a 15-sack guy. You don't need a 12-sack guy. The Seattle Seahawks and the New England Patriots, they just laid out the blueprint on how to put a defense together. I'll take 3 and 4 guys that are 8.5 sack guys, eight or 9 sacks. Look at DeMarcus Lawrence. He was here. He wasn't making 11 and 12 sacks in his early career. Early in his career, he was doing that, but not now. He's an eight sack guy, but he plays that run, and this is what you want. This is what you want with a Bradley Chubb, man. And hopefully, the Cowboys will try to kick the tires, or even if hopefully he want to be here in Dallas. But these are the type of guys that when Christian Parker is putting this defense together, these are the type of guys that you want to bring in. Guys like this guy, he's a proven vet. And, man, I just think it would be a great idea. Man, I seen something out there. They was talking about bringing Tariq Hill and let George Pickens leave and bringing in Tariq Hill. Man, are you out of your cotton picking mind, man? Man, there's no way. The Cowboys don't need to touch anything with this offense. They need to get this deal done with George Pickens, and they just need to keep it, if you're going to do anything, add something to it. You need to add a running back. If you're going to bring Rico Dowdle in, bring him in. If you're going to draft a running back in the later rounds of the draft one. But don't get Hollywood. Cowboys get Hollywood, man, and you bring a Tariq Hill and then let George Pickens walk, man. That would be a nightmare. I would be upset, man. I probably wouldn't even, man. I think I would. I don't know what I'll do. I would just be upset if they would do something like that. But with Bradley Chubb, it only makes sense. It only makes sense, combination. And I mean, like, if you think about it, the draft is, even with the draft coming up, do you think they should change their draft strategy if they pick up a Bradley Chubb? Do you think they need to, okay, well, you get Chubb, maybe shift their strategy from grabbing an edge? I don't think so. I think you still grab that young edge rusher as well as a corner, but I love to hear your thoughts on what the Cowboys should do. Should they go after Chubb? Should they go after Henderson or Max Crosby instead? I think Chubb is the better fit. And see, like right now, Cowboy Nation, you're looking at what they have now with Diggy Zua, you got Kenny Clark, and you got Quentin Williams. Man, that's the run. They gonna stop the run. They're gonna stop the run, and then you're gonna have Ezraku coming back, who's gonna be a second year vet, and he's gonna be better. His pass rushing toolbox is gonna grow, and you got to re-sign Jadeveon. Jadeveon gave you about 7 sacks, and so adding Chubb, this man, man, this is what you want, Cowboy Nation. You want a guy like this to come in and help this team out, man. Let's not overthink this Joneses or Will McClay. Don't overthink this move. Let's just make it happen. And you coming into the draft, then is now you feeling a little bit better, and it's not putting the pressure on a young pass rusher to come in and tear it up, or it's just not putting any pressure on these young guys on the defensive front. It gives you a little bit more flexibility, I believe, and when as far as draft strategy. So I would love to hear your thoughts about Bradley Chubb, and would you like the Cowboys to make a move on Bradley Chubb? So with that being said, draft is coming up. Draft is close, and it's been a lot of names been kicked around. I would love to hear your thoughts. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments about with that 12 and 20th pick. Who would you get for that 12th and 20th pick? Would you move up into that top 10 and grab Caleb Downs? I've seen some mock drafts talking about possibly packaging that 12th pick with a next year number 2 pick and moving up into that top 10 and going after Caleb Downs. Whatever the strategy, I think there's a sense of urgency this year. I think the Joneses and the Will McClays, they are, not hesitating in this draft and then free agency, and they're going to go and get that player and go get that dog. Whether it's moving up, you got plenty of picks to move up. I think it wouldn't be bad if that player's in the right spot. Go ahead up in that top 10 and go get that impact player that they need on the defensive side of the ball. So that's all I got for this evening, man. I just want to hear your thoughts. I just want to give you my thoughts, and I want to hear your thoughts in the comments section. Also, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. And I want to hear your thoughts about 2 things. I want to hear, should the Cowboys go after Bradley Chubb? Or who is your guy? Is it Max Crosby or Trey Henderson? And I want to hear your thoughts with those first 2 picks. If you was in that war room, what would you do for those first 2 picks? With those first 2 picks, you moving up in the top 10, or you going to fall back, or you going to trade the 2 picks for a vet? So till the next time, Cowboy Nation, I am out of here.